Welcome back to In Focus. Now, if you're thinking of coming to the U.S. on a student visa, it can be a challenge. VOA's Lisa Vohra talks to two students who have been through it.
Okay, so you've reached that point in your life when it's time to make a move, time to go to college. There's so much to think about. Where do I want to go to school? What do I want to study? Do I want to go abroad? Well, if you want to go abroad and you think you want to come to the United States, here's what to expect.
I'm going to get into this and involved. And
Meet Joy Spencer and Stephanie Aye. Joy came to the U.S. from Sierra Leone 12 years ago on a student visa. She went to graduate school, received her master's degree, and is now the program director for the International Professional Partnerships for Sierra Leone, a nonprofit group.
I went to an American international school, and so we had a lot of teachers and guidance counselors who would give us advice about suggestions of possible schools we could apply to.
We have to make sure everything in their room is fine.
Stephanie Aye arrived from Ghana a few years ago and just got her bachelor's degree from American University. The first thing she did to prepare for her studies abroad was look for universities that were related to her major.
I decided that I wanted to come to school in the DC area because I wanted to do international relations. You'd start by, of course, applying to the schools, getting information from the U.S. Information Service.
A great place to start your research is AfricanScholar.com, a place for people in the African region to get information about U.S. colleges.
AfricanScholar.com was really set up to fill this gap that exists between students in the Western world and African students. We provide information on entry-level jobs, internships. How do I get a visa? What's student life like over there? What are some of the things I need to watch out for?
Once you've done your research, the next step is to simply apply to the university that interests you. Most universities have the same basic requirements.
For freshman students, we're looking at their high school grades and the courses that they took during high school. Most students who are attending a public education system in Africa take a secondary school exam as they're leaving.
Here's where 90% of the points are lost on exams.
Once you meet the educational requirements by the university, you then have to disclose your financial status before you may receive the necessary forms to apply for your student visa.
It's a non-immigrant visa, so they need to know that you have ties to your home country and that you can pay.
Here at Mason, we require students to submit a certificate of financial responsibility. They don't have to show that they have all 4 years worth of funding, but just that they have a continued source for those 4 years.
Provided you have met your financial obligation, the school gives you what is called an I-20 form. This form documents all of your accepted educational and financial information for the U.S. Embassy. An immigration officer at the embassy then examines your admission papers and will determine if you should be granted a student visa known as an F1 visa.
Very nerve-wracking because they have all these people out there, very intimidating, asking all these questions.
My number one hint for all African students and international students is to be familiar with the university you're applying for, read all of the requirements, pay attention to deadlines, so plan ahead and do your research.
There you have it. A quick peek into the process of getting a student visa in the United States. But it doesn't stop there. Don't forget, things are quite different here in the United States. You might get hit with a little bit of culture shock, something that both Stephanie and Joy have a lot to say about in our next report. And we'll also take you through a day of Stephanie's life as a student. I'm Lisa Vohra, VOA News.
And that's all from us. Good night.